Can I tell you my Neil Young story?
Please.
Since we're talking about penthouses and musicians.
Yes. I went downstairs to get my lip gloss.
Uh-huh.
So Bert did a Two Bears, One Cave with Matthew McConaughey, and they talked about this tuna salad.
Okay.
And this tuna salad has gone viral. Oh. And Bert was like, well, it was my conversation. I should make his tuna salad. So they're shooting that downstairs today. And there's wasabi in his recipe. Mm-hmm. And so Bert's having everybody in the office try it. And I was the guinea pig. And it had way too much wasabi.
Oh, my God.
So it was like wasabi with tuna on the side.
Oh, my God.
And so I tasted, I was like, whoa, too much wasabi. And then he was making fun of me for thinking it was too much wasabi. Gives it to Stacy, too much wasabi. Gives it to Victoria, too much wasabi. Gives it to Peter. All of them say it's too much wasabi. Uh-huh. So I made him apologize to me.
Good.
For being mean when I said it was too much wasabi. It took him about 4 apologies to get to what he actually should apologize about.
That is so funny. My God. Well, I know he's a good cook.
Sorry.
He's always killing it down there. So.
He's a great cook, but he does, he's one of those like when he makes the girls grilled cheese sandwiches, there's so much cheese that you're like, it's like almost inedible.
But how can you not eat it though?
But how can you not eat it?
Knife and fork and just.
Exactly.
Do you dunk it in something like that?
Well, I don't eat it. It actually is too much cheese for me. Okay. Where I go, I'm just eating melted cheese. And that just is gross.
Yeah.
But he's like that with everything.
I can imagine that with like some nice tomato soup and stuff, to like slice and dunk. Yes.
How are you, Romy?
I'm good. I'm hanging in there. I'm ready for the holidays.
You are?
Yeah.
Tell me about your city council work.
My city council work. The Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council Business Representative. My term is almost up, believe it or not.
No, it is not.
It's a 2-year term, and it's I have to state that I want to run again in December and campaign again in the spring for the vote in April. But they've made it harder to vote. But so I got to make sure I can get people out there to vote for me. But they have to be other business members in the community and stuff. But it's paying off. You make relationships in the city. Carla Martinez is our CD13 rep. And so I have a working relationship with her and her field deputy as well. So, I've been hustling to try and get new garbage cans and new benches in Larchmont. So I've learned how to collaborate with the Larchmont bid. Heather Duffy, who runs that's a beautiful woman and smart and funny. She's been there for like 10 years. So we've worked together to come up with the right color for the new garbage cans, the benches. That's right. Since I saw you last, I created a legacy bench program.
Oh, yeah?
So people can buy a bench in honor of somebody, and that will go on Larchmont Boulevard with a plaque in their family's name.
That's lovely.
So, yeah, it's kind of a really fun way to like revamp Larchmont and give it some freshness. So that's kind of what really runs all of my time right now, is just trying to get that organized.
For people who don't know, Larchmont is a community in Los Angeles.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful community. It's kind of one main street that has tons of shops and businesses surrounded by a neighborhood of beautiful homes, some modest, some really grand.
Yes. It's Hancock Park, which it's a lot like Beverly Hills, but without the flash, right? Old money homes, mansions built in the 20s, a lot of 5,000 and 6,000, 7,000 square foot homes, but it's more low key. It's all about historic preservation. Mm-hmm. So they want Larchmont Boulevard is about the history of Los Angeles, and it's not trying to be like a Melrose and be really flashy.
Right.
So people are kind of understated, but they want nice things too. So, and I think I told you about my medians that I redid. I fundraised. My clients donated a couple $1,000s, and our beautiful landscape person that we share in common, Lisa, she hooked it up, and it helped me with the beautiful medians that we did, plants and succulents and stuff like that are low maintenance because there's no water in that particular median. So this has been my summer, is just organizing, fundraising, and conceptualizing to make it more beautiful.
So why did you do this? What was your motivation?
To do what? To
become a city council person. Is that the right?
Yeah, I'm the neighborhood council person. Yeah, the business representative. So I'm in the neighborhood council. It's all volunteer. Mm-hmm. It was kind of a fell into it thing. I may have mentioned before that one of the guy that's the president of it, Conrad Starr, he was walking, he gets his hair done at my salon.
Oh, no way.
He was popping by one day. He goes, Romy, you should run for the neighborhood council. I'm like, okay, I know nothing about this stuff. And my client is a therapist. She goes, Romy, you'd be really good at this. And I said, well, if you say so, Leela, I'm doing it. So I ran, I won, and then here I am.
How about that?
Yeah. School of hard knocks. You learn on the job. So
I can't believe it's been 2 years.
Yeah. Can you?
No, I can't. I can't believe it. Are you going to run again?
Yeah, I have to because I have to finish this project. I can't drop out now. I may get bumped off the roster, but at least I got to try.
That's great.
Once you build the relationships, you've got to utilize them.
Yeah, totally. And 2 years really is, you've just got them built, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But now you're like 18 months in, you're like, okay, now I got my people. I know who to call for what, and your projects are underway. You're right. You can't drop out now.
Right. And I'm sort of building a resume, if you will. So the Larchmont Chronicle did a 2-page write-up about my Legacy Bench program and the garbage cans, and they'll do another one at the first of the year. And there have been some things in the Larchmont Buzz, which is a daily digital paper. And so all that support you're getting from the press, people start to become aware of what you're doing. So you show up at a party, like the Historical Society party, and they're like, they know who you are, and you're finally getting to a place that maybe they'll give you some money because they can see what you can do. So you gotta write it out.
Right.
In fact, I was in front of Mayor Bass last week for a fundraiser. She's starting her campaign early. And so I was like, okay, I got to remember who I am and why I'm here. So I was out there pitching Larchmont and saying, because she's talking about the Olympics coming up and wanting to beautify Los Angeles. And and I said, well, here's my role on Larchmont. And she lives, I think, in the governor's mansion there. I said, so if there's money for beautification coming up in 2028, I want to be a part of it. We want some of it for our neighborhood. How do I get involved? So it was nice to have FaceTime with her for like 2 minutes and just, say that. So she'll hopefully remember me in the future. So
I'm sure she will.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, thank you. So it's a labor of love.
Heck yeah. So what part of your 2 years are you most proud of?
That I got medians and pots done, that you can actually see there's something tangible. The tangible is, for me, the most important.
Right. So
I think that, and getting to know how things work has been really exciting also.
Yeah.
And seeing, that one person can affect more change than you think, so... And I came in there with lots of ideas, and I kind of shook things up a little bit. Actually, I completely revamped the Larchmont Boulevard Association website, larchmont.com, plug. But I mean, I brought in a person to do new web design, the whole new logo. We expanded the history of Larchmont. So we've given a new brand to the LBA, which I think is really, I'm really proud of that. And people jumped on board and helped.
That's great.
Yeah.
So then what are you most excited about if you get reelected? What would you be working on that you're most excited about?
Finishing the Legacy Bench program. So because right now there's 8 wooden benches that are kind of beat up on the street. So I want all those gone. I want the new benches that are a beautiful French blue, my favorite color, but also it's a sophisticated color that kind of separates Larchmont from other neighborhoods and stuff. So to create this beautiful backdrop where maybe somebody might get engaged by a bench with beautiful plantings behind it, or, it could become like a signature spot. So I think getting that completed, getting the new garbage cans in that Heather's working on with the bid and with the matching garbage cans, I'm just like, if I do nothing else, I would be so happy with that. Because it's a nice thing to leave behind.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it'll last forever.
Yeah. I mean, they have a 20-year warranty on the benches and all the metal. It's made in the USA. Love that. But yeah, it's nice to support an American-made business, but also it's nice to have a tangible that's going to be there for hopefully long after I'm around. So
heck yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all volunteer.
Yes, all volunteer.
And how many people, are you part of a group?
Well, there's 99 neighborhood councils.
Okay.
And then they have all these different positions on there. So there's probably 20 positions on each neighborhood council.
Oh, okay.
All volunteer. And then I'm a part of the Larchmont Boulevard Association, which we have about 12, 13 business owners on Larchmont who come together every month and meet and discuss priorities, fundraising, objectives. And so it's a lot of working as a team.
Do you feel like you've made a good friend or two?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely.
You have?
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yes.
So people always ask me, how do you make friends when you're older?
Oh.
And that sounds like a really great way to make friends, to volunteer for something that helps your community.
Yeah.
Sounds like an amazing thing because you're win-win.
Yeah.
Win-win-win-win. Your community wins, you win.
And one of my clients owns Hollywood Land Realty, Patricia Carroll. I've known her for a long time, but when you start working with her as a volunteer in another capacity, I'm learning more about the business, the history of the business. I would love it if Rico and I could do a documentary about the history of that building. Because it sits at the foot of the hill below the Hollywood sign.
Oh, okay.
It was the first real estate office before they sold the Hollywood Hills.
Oh.
So there's a great, rich history, and her family has run it since 1946. So she's got all the archives. She's actually scanning these archives with all the old contracts from 1923, 1924, and she's shown them to me. And it's like, you're seeing conversations between realtors and developers and stuff, and it's like, this is how Hollywood started. This is how it was built.
How crazy.
So it's kind of exciting. It's like, it's really great to really get that understanding of how we came to be here in Hollywood.
Yeah, totally. This holiday season is here. which means we're focused on all things festive and gifting, and Jenny Kane is our go-to destination for the very best of the season. With their iconic gift guide leading the way, Jenny Kane makes it effortless to check off everyone on your list, including yourself. Everything Jenny Kane makes is pure luxury, from their cashmere knits and essential outerwear to their homeware pieces like their obsession-worthy candles. There's no better place to get into the seasonal spirit than at Jenny Kane. The Jenny Kane Black Friday event starts November 16th and lasts through the end of November. They're offering 25% off everything, both in-store and online. It's the best discount you'll get. Personally, my favorite sweater I own is a Jenny Kane sweater. It's a cardigan, and it's, taupe, maybe, if that's the right word, but I wear it with everything. I can dress it up, I can dress it down, I can button it, I can unbutton it, and it's so soft. It is my favorite sweater. Gift yourself and your loved ones the best gift of all, Jenny Kane. From now through the end of November, our listeners get 25% off your first order when you use code WIFE15 at jennykane.com. That's 25% off your first order for the rest of November when you use the code WIFE15 at jennykayne.com. Let getting dressed be one less thing to worry about. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts that spark joy, wonder, delight, and that it's exactly what I wanted feeling. They scour the globe for original handmade, absolutely remarkable things. Somehow, they know exactly the perfect gift for every single person you know. When you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. Many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches, so shop now before they sell out this holiday season. I have been filling my kids' stockings with Uncommon Goods stocking stuffers for probably 10 years because you could go to a big box store and buy a bunch of junk, or you could go to uncommongoods.com and fill their stockings with things that have meaning and a lot of quality, and they're handcrafted. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/LeeAnn. That's LeeAnn. That's uncommongoods.com/LeeAnn for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary. Hollywood's an interesting place, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It just kind of came up out of the dust a little bit. And it's such a cool place to live. I know Hollywood or LA gets kind of a bad rap. I think especially people in the Midwest who've never been here. I don't know how to explain it. It seems to, when people come to visit, there are parts of LA that seem unsafe or seem like really run down. And that is true. I totally acknowledge that. But I don't know, the spirit of this city, something about the spirit of this city is just incomparable.
Well, you know what it is? It's like people come here from all around the world to carve out a niche for themselves. And I think you come here with an idea of what Hollywood is, and then you figure out the reality of it. So you've kind of got to reinvent you. You've got to get secure in who you are, and so you don't get lost in the shuffle and stuff too. But because it goes through upswings and downswings and stuff also. But there's such great architecture here in the city because we were the pioneers of mid-century architecture. We have great Art Deco buildings. So that rich history always stays. Sometimes it's in fashion and out of fashion. And what's also, the trendy neighborhoods comes and goes too. But when I've got friends visiting, I like to throw them in the car and drive them around and show them great old buildings because there's stuff that's used in movies. So it becomes recognizable. So I think there's a lot of good there. You just kind of got to, I don't want to say like have blinders on about what you're looking at and stuff. But I think sharing the history of some of these things makes Hollywood come to life and is richer and stuff.
I think so too. And I think, much like big cities like New York and Chicago, it's hard to have the good without the bad, know, and as rich as your bad is sometimes is as rich as your good is.
Right.
So my glass half full way of looking at it is like that. You go to any major city, Atlanta, Nashville.
That's true.
Miami, any major city, and you'll find parts that aren't as pretty. And
I think also we're dreamers, right? We're storytellers. We're here because we want to share and we want to entertain people on whatever level that is and stuff too. So, you guys are doing it in-house, which is awesome. You don't have to be a part of the studio system over the hill, but you've got your own part of the machine going on, and people come here because they want these jobs, right?
Yeah.
So it's a great place to gather talent. My only concern about things getting so expensive is, in the 90s when I came here, there were all the cute little bungalows where people could live really cheaply, and the writers would get together and then have little block parties and stuff, and you kind of all come up through the ranks together and stuff. So I don't know if that's getting harder or if it's easier because everything is digitized now. So
I don't know either. I think it's harder. I mean, I remember when I moved here, my rent was like, I think it was like $500 a month. And I had a decent little 1-bedroom.
Yeah.
Maybe it was $600 a month, but it wasn't very much compared to now, where the apartments now are just like thousands and thousands. And my friend has a house she's renting for like $8,000 a month, and it's like a 3-bedroom house. Wow. And I think, how do people afford it? How do you start? You have to have a roommate. You have to hustle several jobs. It's hard.
And you need the struggling artists to come in to define themselves and stuff. And I think, when I moved here, it was also $500 a month rent for my place. And I was in the Hollywood Hills in an Egyptian revival home. I didn't know it was Egyptian revival at the time.
What does that even mean?
It's trapezoid shaped. It was all made out of brick, and it has a stucco lip that curls out at the top. So if you go to the cemetery and you see these mausoleums that are Egyptian styled, this home was built the same time as the Frank Lloyd Wright, the Ennis Brown home. They're literally a block apart. And so I got to live in the mother-in-law apartment on the back side of the house, 500 square feet, 400 square feet, $500 a month. I took care of the dogs when Michelle traveled because she was a stunt car driver, and I met her through the salon. So that salon was a great little network to keep finding people and stuff. But 2 years I lived there, and gave it to other friends who got their start in LA, and it was like a safe, quiet place to live.
Yeah.
And
what I think is interesting too, I don't know how you feel, but I was willing to live like that to pursue my dream, right?
Yeah.
I was willing to live in a box and sell Avon, and
Did you sell Avon?
I did sell Avon.
I think I remember that story. That's awesome.
I was waiting tables and sold Avon at the same time because I was at Lowry's, so I had like 25 women every shift.
Yeah.
And I would just hand out my catalogs and then have them slip their orders in my pocket, and then I'd go pick up the Avon, and then I'd go deliver. I'd just leave it in the locker room with their name on it, and sold a ton of Avon, especially in the summer. That skin's so soft with mosquitoes, they fly off the shelves. I was like, bam, another $5 for me.
Setting you up for the Kreischer merch in the future, right?
Exactly. I was like, whatever I got to do to pursue my dream. I think that that willingness to be scrappy, sort of, is not around as much anymore.
I think there's a little bit of entitlement. I don't know if it's the TikTok generation where they're like, 3 weeks on the job, you deserve a raise. I mean, I hear stories about that.
I definitely experienced that.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yeah, I have experienced that. Not from everybody of that generation by any stretch, but definitely where I go, I'm not sure that's exactly right just yet. You know what I mean? We're pretty quick to jump to that. There's no kind of willingness to stay dirty for a minute.
Well, and I had a huge career in Seattle before I came to LA. So I walked away from a really successful business because I wasn't happy. And I thought, I'm pushing 30. I thought, if I don't move to LA now, it's not going to happen. Yep. And I had this dream of coming to Hollywood. So it's like, do I stay in this thing that I know is going to be like, I'll make great money, but kind of boring? Or do you throw caution to the wind and go ride the wave and see where it takes you,
Yeah.
So, and that meant starting over and being broke and being on a shoestring budget and all that stuff. But
and then you just build your way out of that, don't you?
Yeah.
I know. It's interesting to watch as an elder statesman. These young whippersnappers come to town, and you're like, no, that's actually a really nice apartment. You should have seen the dump I lived in. The first apartment I had was on Curzon Avenue in West Hollywood. And it had those windows that were slats.
Yes.
So you kind of pulled a lever and the slats would all go up and down together. So there was nowhere to put an air conditioner. There was no air conditioner. And I was moving from New York City. And the lady that I was renting it from, I said to her, there's no air conditioning here. She goes, 85 degrees max in LA. It's never hotter than 85 degrees. You don't need it. So there was a kitchen window across from the living room window. She was like, you just open both windows, you get a cross breeze from the ocean. I'm in West Hollywood. How hard would the wind have to blow from the ocean?
It usually comes at sunset if it comes.
I know, right? But no way it's getting all the way up to Curson Avenue.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, clearly she knows what she's talking about. I had never been to LA. I just moved here.
Oh my God.
So I never went to New York either. I just moved there.
Yeah.
So clearly this was a pattern for me. So I took the apartment. I think it was $650 a month, and it had a parking space.
Thank God.
And I had a car. So I bought a car when I lived in New York to move to LA. So I moved here Easter, which was in April in 97. And that summer at that point was the hottest summer on record. I could not sleep.
Oh my God.
I remember stripping totally naked and drinking NyQuil and sleeping in the floor of the living room. Because I was like,
hopefully a cold floor, right?
Hardwood floor, totally naked. Like, oh my God. I was dying. I was so hot. And I lived there until like September. And I was like, I can't do this again. It's just a little too hot. But it was the hottest summer. It was like 108 or something. Oh
my God.
So it was awful.
Well, when I came here, it was the January 1st of 1993. So that was when they had a huge rain that year. So I was subletting at somebody's horrible apartment right above Cahuenga and Highland. So there's a church there and there's some buildings behind it. It was a tiny little apartment above a garage with no insulation, rats everywhere.
Oh God.
So I'm laying in bed and
God.
And it's damp, it's wet, and it poured rain. I sublet for 6 weeks and I couldn't get out of there fast enough.
Yeah, right.
But it was just like, I was like, what the hell, man?
I know, right? What am I doing here?
You gave up Seattle for this, but yeah.
But it worked out. It worked out. I know when I first moved, I just needed a job. So I remember going to Sunset Boulevard and Crescent Heights. And I just started walking down the street. And I was like, I don't even really know what's on the street. I'm just going to walk from business to business and drop my resume.
Did you go along Sunset or down Crescent Heights?
On Sunset.
Okay, yeah, that's a great area.
It is. But I knew, I was like, a job's going to be here for me. So there's like a liquor store or something. Used to be a liquor store right there. So I hit the liquor store, no job. And then I went next door and hit something else, no job. The next thing was the Chateau Marmont.
Yeah.
Did not know what this hotel was. Had no idea its history. Just walked into the front desk and said, I'm from New York. I waited tables in a hotel. I'm just looking for any job. I just moved here. And they were like, coincidence. Our receptionist just quit. How you feel about answering phones? And I was like, I'm totally fine. First job was at the Chateau Marmont. Yeah.
That's friggin' awesome. How long were you there for?
Not very long because it was a minimum wage job.
Yeah.
And I couldn't afford to live here on minimum wage. So probably maybe 6 months.
But what a great way to land in LA.
It was amazing.
So many celebrities and interesting people.
So many celebrities. Yeah. Keanu Reeves was living there when I was there, and his mom. So I saw them. I didn't see them much. Their receptionist was behind the front desk in another room. So I sat in this room by myself.
Okay.
But when the front desk staff would go on break or go on lunch, I would stand at the front desk. Yeah. So I got like an hour a day at the front desk. I wasn't qualified to be at the front desk, but except for the lunch. But I do have a couple great stories. I saw Courtney Love there, and she was, this will be a shock, a mess. She was a complete mess, and she was there with Michael Stipe, who's the lead singer of REM.
Okay.
And I remember him standing at the front desk trying to comfort her. I don't know what was going on. I couldn't understand what they were saying. And I just very quietly said, is there anything I can do to help? And he looked at me like he was going to stab me. I was like, sorry, I just wanted to see if everything
Southern charm, just trying to be helpful.
My bad. And he's from Georgia. He should have, but whatever. He was really not happy that I spoke to him. And then one day, I love this story. One day I was at the front desk and Don Henley came up to check in.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God, that's Don Henley. I'm a huge Eagles fan, huge Eagles fan. I was like, oh my God, that's Don Henley. So at the Chateau Marmont, those rooms used to be apartments.
Yes.
Yes. So they have full kitchens. So policy there is you have to walk each guest to their room and tour the apartment and show them how things work. Because each apartment was a little different.
Got it.
Because they were all, apartment buildings, they're a little quirky, all of them. Well, he'd rented the penthouse. So I was like, I am walking down Henley. I was in the elevator going like, I cannot believe my life. I cannot believe my life. What is happening? I cannot believe this. I didn't even know what to say to him. I tried to just make chit chat with him. He was having a private dinner in the penthouse, and a chef had shown up earlier to set up his private dinner.
Okay.
So I walked him into the penthouse. I went in first, and he went in right behind me. And as soon as he went in, he put both hands on his knees and doubled over and just started taking deep breaths. And I was like, what is happening? And he raised his head up and he went, it's been a long time since I've been in this room. And I went, oh my God, I just witnessed something like, I don't know what I witnessed, but that was pretty fucking amazing.
Oh my God.
And he just walked around the room and in awe of the place.
Uh-huh.
And I said, well, sir, I'd be happy to give you a tour. And he goes, no need. Thank you so much. Gave me a tip and I left. But I left going, I just witnessed a man re-experience something. And I don't know what he re-experienced, but I saw him do that.
How crazy.
And he's like one of my most favorite musicians ever. Only in Hollywood.
Well, can I tell you my Neil Young story?
Please.
Since we're talking about penthouses and musicians.
Yes.
For a while, I was on the roster of hairdressers at the Four Seasons Hotel.
Okay.
I had dated a guy for a little while who worked at the front desk as a concierge. And he's like, oh, you're new? You do hair? Why don't you be on the roster of hairdressers for the hotel? So he would hook me up. So I would always get sent to the hotel, and I would never know whose hair I was going to cut or do or style until I got there. And they'd hand you a note and say, here's where you're going. So on this particular day, it was the penthouse, and it was for Neil Young.
Whoa.
So I went to the penthouse and I had all my little stuff in tow, and he was so lovely. I'm not always like the smartest guy in the room, so I'm cutting his hair and getting ready for whatever. I said, do you want me to clean up these sideburns? They're kind of bushy. He goes, no, that's okay. Because I'm like, they're his trademark?
Yes, they are.
Such a dumbass.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, sorry, they need to be a little shorter, but I left him alone and gave him his nice haircut. But his whole family was there. And I just remember the whole layout of the marble floors, because I have like this photographic memory, and the views were really beautiful. And I've written about it in my book that I've never published, but the whole experience of being there with the family, and he had a son in a wheelchair, which I didn't know he had a handicapped son.
I didn't either.
And he's actually traveled with him, and he's been very open about that and stuff. But it was just like, you walk out of there and you close the door and like, wow, that was just like a little slice of Hollywood. Amazing. And I also did, another star's hair. I did Gabriel Jared for the Oscars when he won for something in the 90s. Again, it was a big movie that was really famous. My cousin Vinny.
Oh, Joe Pesci?
No.
Marissa Tomei?
Marissa Tomei. I did her hair at the Four Seasons.
You did?
She literally answered the front door in her room suite in I think an avocado mask or something.
Oh, how funny.
And I blew her hair out in the bathroom while she was eating a burger and fries, and she's in a lovely white fluffy bathrobe. And it's just like, it's just so surreal to be there and be in their orbit for an hour or 45 minutes, and then you're out and a normal guy on the street again. So.
And then we're just regular folks.
Yeah.
Just regular folks.
Just regular folks.
But only in Hollywood, right?
I know. That's the fun part. That's the exciting part that makes it worth the year of toil and trouble, to get to that. So
yeah, those are great stories. For a gift that's always on time and lasts a lifetime, you can't do better than Masterclass. With Masterclass, your loved ones can learn from the best to become their best. Masterclass is the only streaming platform where you can learn and grow with over 200 plus of the world's best. That's why Wirecutter calls it an invaluable gift. Gift unlimited learning. Learn from any Masterclass instructor anywhere, on a smartphone, computer, smart TV, or even in audio mode. Plus, there's no risk. Every new membership comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. I started subscribing to Masterclass about a year ago, and I can't tell you how amazing it is, because I feel like I have a guest professor on any subject I can imagine at my fingertips. I've learned so much from that portal of big brains. Masterclass always has great offers during the holidays, sometimes up to as much as 50% off. Head over to masterclass.com/wife for the current offer. That's up to 50% off at masterclass.com/wife. Masterclass.com/wife. Want to smell better naked? Don't we all? There's literally no better time than right now. Lumi Deodorant is doing their biggest sale of the year, up to 30% off everything, exclusively on their website. If you haven't heard the hype around Lumi, I'll fill you in. Lumi is a whole body deodorant created by an OBGYN for all the places odor naturally forms on your body. So obviously your underarms, but also feet, under boobs, and intimate areas. Choose from a variety of fresh, bright scents like clean tangerine, lavender sage, or toasted coconut. There's a child that lives in my household that has something that we call swamp feet. Swamp feet could really use a cream deodorant. So guess what? Lumi has a cream deodorant for stinky, smelly, sticky, yucky feet. Lumi Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant for their stinky feet, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. Now through Cyber Monday, customers get up to 30% off all Lumi products. The perfect time to get your starter pack. Head to LumiDeodorant.com to take advantage of their biggest sale through Cyber Monday. That's LumiDeodorant.com. And when they ask, please support our show and tell them Wife of the Party sent you.
Did you ever remember when they had the Vanity Fair party on Melrose? Is it Cicconi's, the restaurant there that's been there for forever?
I have never been to one, but I know what you're talking about.
So, and in the 90s, you could actually walk up on the street after the Oscars and watch the celebrities come through.
No way.
And the limousines would drop them off, and then they would go up and they'd have the step and repeat, and everybody's screaming their names. The stars would come over to the street and shake hands and wave to the people. So, like Julia Roberts was like going down the street one day in her vintage, I don't know if it was Galliano or whatever the gown was. It was black and white and stunning. You just see the dress floating down the street, and you're like, this is so cool because you're like in the thick of it. And then, as you probably know, the red carpets are crazy because everybody's screaming your name and look this way, look that way. And I thought, that's tough, man. You got to be composed and still and smile and look elegant when people are screaming and yelling at you from every angle. So it was quite an education just experiencing that, you know.
Yeah, to watch what they have to deal with.
Yeah.
It is kind of crazy. We saw her in the airport the other day.
Oh, did you really?
We did. We were in Oregon for something. I don't remember what, but we were in the Eugene airport, and there's one bar and restaurant downstairs, and then there's one upstairs. And so we were waiting at this bar. I looked across and I went, that looks like Julia Roberts. I had to go to the bathroom coincidentally. So I just went to the bathroom and walked by her table, and I was like, oh my God, that is Julia Roberts and her son. And they are playing cards like regular people, not as if she's not a regular person. But,
I know, right?
You know, I think of her in the Galliano dress, you know, as this larger than life. She's been a movie star since I was like in high school.
Thank you. Since she was in high school practically. Wasn't she like 19 in that Mystic Pizza or whatever it was? I can't believe I can remember that name.
She was a child. Mystic Pizza, great movie. Yeah. So I came back to the table. I was like, Bert, Julia Roberts, we're so dumb. This is how dumb we are. We're going, she's on our flight. I mean, we're going to LA. You know she's going to LA. You know she's on our flight. She's totally on our flight. She's going on our flight. And we're watching her, waiting for her to board our flight, waiting. And she doesn't. And we go, we're so stupid. She's flying private. What a dummy. We really thought she's going to be sitting next to us and we're going to talk. I said to Bert, stop staring at her and stuff. And I turned to him and I go, I hope she asked me a question so she can hear my Southern accent.
I know.
And then she will know that we will be the best friends ever, me and Julia Roberts. I'm such a dummy. But
maybe she was staring at Bert. Maybe she's seen his show. Who knows? Can you imagine?
No, what was really cool about her is she was in this restaurant. She was not hiding. Yeah. But she also was not, she just kind of had her back to the room. Yeah. And was just no makeup on, sweater and a scarf, playing cards with her son, who's I think her son's Isla's age, like 18. Didn't engage with anybody, but wasn't, just kind of kept to herself. Yeah. No one approached her. No one interrupted her. Yeah. But yeah, we seriously were the whole time going, she's definitely on our flight. She's definitely on our flight. I hope she's next to us. I hope she's in row 1, right with us. And then of course, the whole plane boards and we keep going, I wonder when she's boarding. Maybe she's boarding last.
Right? That's what I would expect, right? So that nobody can bother her.
She's boarding last. And then all of a sudden we went, we're so stupid. She's flying private out of, this is the smallest airport ever. Of course, this was happening. So anyway.
Well, and I saw Sandy Bullock one time at the Chateau Marmont. And it was that whole thing where she actually came into the room with a crowd of people around her. So you could barely hear, but you hear the voice and you catch enough of it to know that that's her and stuff. And it's like, but that was a whole LA experience.
I bet.
With the entourage and all that.
I bet. We saw her at the Forum The girls at Burton, the four of us went to see Queen at the Forum and went to the bathroom, and she was in the bathroom.
Get out. And
I was like, and we walked outside and waited for the girls, and they came out, and I was like, did you see Sandra Bullock? She was in the bathroom. And the girls were like, oh my God.
That is so cool. That's great.
So cool.
That's that she loves the same music, right? So,
she likes Queen.
That's awesome.
Clearly. Anyway, so how's your dad?
My dad's pretty good.
Yeah.
We text and talk every once in a while and stuff. So, it's cold in Ohio. So he's, not happy about the weather, but it's all good. He's hanging in there. And my stepmom's birthday, I believe, is a day after tomorrow, his wife.
Oh,
Joanne.
my goodness.
So glad we talked about this because I got to order her some flowers.
Exactly.
I owe her flowers for her birthday.
There you go.
Yeah.
So everything's going well with that.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I just text and sort of see what's going on Facebook. And I'm not sure when I'm going back again. We were just there. Rico and I went this July. And then, so we spent 5 days there. And then my aunts came out here for September. They had this idea that we would do like a girls' weekend in LA. So my sisters from Seattle that I grew up with came down, and Aunt Stephanie and Aunt Eva came from Ohio. And so we put them up and at our other apartment down the street. And we took them all over the place and treated them like royalty. We had so much fun. They'd never experienced LA before. So we did the Bel Air Hotel one night. No, the Polo Lounge.
Uh-huh.
And my aunt was like, she's like, this is a lot of fun. She's 77. She's like, I think I have to come back for my 80th birthday. And I was like, I think you should.
Totally.
So we actually went 2 nights in a row there because there was like a black tie event happening and they'd never seen so much glamour. They got to walk on the red carpet up to the restaurant and stuff. So we just we taught them how to take photographs, shoulders back, chest up, and turn your body a certain way. And they started taking all these cute photographs so we could, give them the Hollywood experience. So it was so much fun.
That's great.
So we took them to the Motion Picture Academy, which is a great museum if you haven't been.
I haven't in a long time. I went a long, long, long time ago.
It's really cool because they keep changing the exhibits. And so there's always something fresh. Right now, there's a big story about Hollywoodland and the history of how Hollywood was built 100 years ago. So it's fun to know your history a little bit.
Heck yeah. It's always fun. Well, that was nice that they came. And your dad, how old's your dad?
He's going to be 81 in January.
That's good.
I think that's right.
Health is still good?
43. That sounds right. No, he'll be 82. Yeah, he's hanging in there. He's kind of in a holding pattern, so that's good.
That is good.
Yeah, he's not been in the hospital or anything, so that's great.
That's really good. Yeah. Are you going to see him anytime soon?
I don't think so. I'm sort of waiting to see what this next year brings. We're supposed to go to a wedding in the spring. I'd wanted to go to Europe in the spring with my cousin, who helped me find my dad, but I may push that to the fall because I want to do a pilgrimage trip to go to Sicily and see these places that our family's from.
Oh, that's cool.
So I actually have a friend helping me. My friend Terry, her girlfriend has helped with citizenship, and since she just got her Italian citizenship, I'm working that for myself also, since I know my grandfather was from Sicily.
Oh, no way.
So you have to look at certain documents and see what's what and see about the whole naturalization process and all that. So it's a learning curve, but if they can pull it off, I'd be thrilled to have Italian citizenship. So,
heck yeah.
Wouldn't that be a crazy arc to go from, in 3 years, wondering if you're Italian to be an Italian citizen? So
that's crazy, and getting married in Italy.
I know, right?
That's a little crazy, Romy.
I know.
That whole story with your dad is just crazy. I think about it all the time.
Do you really? Yeah.
I do, because, to dwell on the why so late, why so long, you can't really do that. That question will never be answered.
Yeah.
But to do with it what you've done with it is a lesson to everybody. And for people who don't know, you found your dad late in life.
Yes.
Right?
When I turned 59, I met him for the first time.
Which is correct. And not because, and he didn't even know you existed.
That's correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was just this kind of serendipity.
Yeah. Well,
of
thanks
circumstances.
to Ancestry. Yeah.
Yes.
I had been looking because I knew after a test on 23andMe that I popped up in a family tree for the Dugan family, not the Wood family. And that's when I knew that Dugan was my dad, because my mom told me at 19 that I might have a different dad. So not to go too far down that rabbit hole, but so for my whole life I looked for him and looked for that person, but I didn't have a town. I just knew his name in Ohio. And so when that popped up on 23andMe, I got an Ancestry, did their test, and all these Dugans popped up as cousins and relatives. And that just whoosh, within weeks I found him and stuff.
So crazy.
But it's that cool cousin in San Clemente who called him and said, "You got a son." And his mom was that pretty redhead in Seattle. So he's like, "I remember her." So
she was hard to forget.
That's right. Wild red hair and stuff. So
that's crazy.
So, yeah. But I knew once he heard her name and knew that he would know it wasn't a joke. So
what's cool about it is how you've approached it and how they've accepted it. And it's just, love is love.
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Love is love.
And my sisters that I grew up with have come along for the ride too.
Yeah.
So it's not like I dropped one family for another family. It's like, no, we're in this together.
Yeah.
And my aunts love my sisters. So
That's
they had
great.
so much fun hanging out together on this trip. And, went to lots of good restaurants. And I think we went to Long Beach to have lunch with my cousin from San Clemente. So we all got together and hung out there. And it's just really cool to like be a part of an Italian family and part of a big family that's just like happy to have you.
Yeah.
So it's life-changing.
That's so great.
Yeah.
I love it. It's inspiring, I think, for people to a blended family doesn't mean two parents get married.
Right. That's true.
It's a blended family. You were part of a blended family.
And I'm that way with Rico and Isaiah and, Isaiah's mom, Sarah. So they were just here for the weekend. I married into that whole dynamic. And I'm Silver Daddy, he's Black Daddy, and we we do our things,
Daddy and Black Daddy? You don't call each other that, do you?
Silver Daddy and Black Daddy, yeah.
Silver Daddy, oh my God.
Yeah, I'm Silver Daddy, he's Black Daddy, obviously. And so that's our joke names for decades. So since I met that whole family.
I love it.
I've watched Isaiah go from 12 to 22 and be a military guy. And but
Hold on.
What?
You have been with him for 10 years?
10 years.
Are you kidding me?
August was 10 years. It's crazy. I haven't aged a day.
You haven't. I would have guessed 5.
I know, it feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
5 was the wedding in Italy, in Venice.
That's insane, Romy.
I look back at the photographs, I'm like, that was quite the event. You know what I mean?
It was.
In hindsight. So
it was quite a lot to pull off from here because you planned your whole wedding in Venice from here.
From here in 9 months. I had stuff custom made.
9 months?
9 months. I saw the hotel, confirmed it at Christmas of 2018. And I started designing and having stuff made. And I didn't get all the stuff I had made until like August. I wasn't sure if I was even going to make it because I had, custom made tablecloths with tassels and my artwork turned into pillows. And so it was like I took over this thing to kind of like create a brand in the hotel room. And the cool thing is that this hotel still has our wedding images on their website.
They do?
Hotel Monaco in Grand Canal, if you want to look it up. You go to their wedding section, they've got 5 images. And 2 of the images are from our event. So one is the ballroom that I created with the beautiful tablecloths and the whole layout, the lighting, the sweetheart table. And the other one is the party we had on the terrace the night before that on the Grand Canal overlooking the basilica over there. So you don't see any people, but you see the little napkins on the plates. And if you zoom in, it's like, there's Romi and Rico on those napkins.
Oh,
so
that's
it makes
amazing.
us feel very special that they've embraced that even post-COVID and kept it on there.
So what did you do with all the tablecloths and all the pillows and all the stuff you made?
They're kind of wrapped up and I've used them for other events when I can. And I've sold some of them. Some of the pillows I had made I never used, the brocade turquoise pillows and stuff, but some are on the bed at home. They're part of our decor and stuff. So it's, and we were there in Venice. Actually, we went in April to go back. We hadn't been there. We went for the Venice Biennale, which is the big every other year art fair in Venice. And we went back to the hotel where we got married. We hadn't been there since COVID. We walked into the room and everybody like the staff was like, they remembered us. They came and gave us hugs. They made room for us at the restaurant that was already packed for the art fair. The hotel manager came to meet us because he'd heard about us but never met us. So we felt like royalty walking back into the hotel. And it was like,
so great.
This is awesome. Thank God we're wearing a suit and looking nice. You know what I mean? So it was a really beautiful experience to go back home.
I bet.
I'm calling Venice home. Oh my God.
I know, right? That just slipped out.
Hilarious. Well, and also this wonderful woman, Nadia, she's a tour guide, Nadia, a friend in Venice. And she said she befriended us on social media because of the wedding. And she's like, if you ever come back to Venice, I want to take you on some tours as a complimentary gift. And we're like, okay, and I had no expectations. We met her at the hotel on that Sunday and she gave us an hour lecture about the history of Venice and all the churches, all the bridges, why they were built, how they were built for, the last 800 years. Threw us in a water taxi, took us to Burano Island, to the most amazing meals, like meeting the chefs behind the scenes. And I was just like, and then the water taxi had like chartreuse leather interior. I'm like, this is the way to roll, man.
Yeah.
So she hooked us up. And I'm like, how can I be a brand ambassador for Venice and share the knowledge? It's exciting to keep learning and to share the history of something like that. So we were in a palace built in the 13th century that is, I have photographs of it and, it's a hotel now. So that's what they do. So
that's so cool. I love that some of your pillows are on the bed at home. That's so great.
Right.
So you can be reminded of that amazing event all the time. That's really cool.
Yeah, thank you.
You're so creative. Have you always been creative, like as a child?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I have kind of a photographic memory. When it came to drawing and sketching, my first drawing I did when I was like 4 or 5, I remember it. It was actually a pencil drawing out of a comic from the paper. And my mom said, "Oh, did you trace that?" I said, "No, I drew it." She goes, "No, you traced that." I said, "No, I drew it. It's bigger than the original." So I still have it somewhere in my archives, but so that was like when I knew I had that skill. But my mom was like me. I mean, she was always gardening. She was always painting and redecorating. So I just followed in her footsteps, and I'm just kind of like an expansion of that. So it's always been in our blood.
Right.
Artists. My mother was an artist. My grandmother, great-grandmother, all artists. And now with my new family that I have, a lot of them are artists as well. My niece, Bree, she's incredibly talented. I'm like, it's so cool to have it on both sides of the family.
Oh, that is cool.
So it's like I've done the most of it so far, but I hope that the next generation exceeds me and does more with that.
Yeah,
so,
totally. Well, you are a visual artist.
Yes.
You have beautiful paintings. For people who don't know, Romi has cut my hair for 25 years since we were 4.
Right.
Forever. Since you drew that comic strip and then you just started cutting my hair. I was in Georgia, you were in Seattle, but whatever. Seattle, right?
Yes, Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle.
Yeah.
So your salon in Larchmont is filled with your artwork.
Yes.
And I love it because I love it for so many reasons. I think that people think you have to do one thing.
Right.
I think that you don't have to do one thing.
Mm-mm.
You are you make your living as a hair stylist, haircut
colorist,
everything
salon owner,
extraordinaire, salon owner.
Yeah.
But then you have a wealth of accomplishment in the world of visual art.
Yes. Yeah.
And then as I've known you, you went back to school and took classes in interior design.
I did, at UCLA. And that changed my life also because learning about the history of design gave design context. So, and that was why I always wanted to have the TV show about, I called it Artful Living with Romi Cortier, but it was about taking each design movement of the 20th century and making a show about it so that the viewer would know, oh, these are the design lines of streamlined modern. This is what zigzag modern is in the 1920s. This is what mid-century modernism. And so it's like, it like expands your vocabulary. So it's anybody watching in a small town, everybody's got a great Art Deco building because all the banks were Art Deco in the 20s. So it's just like, it just gave me a better understanding of the context of that and of artwork. And as a painter, it's like knowing a little history helped me kind of dial it in and stuff. But then also you need your people that inspire you. So, Francois Gillot was always an inspiration to me. I got to meet her a couple times. She was married to Pablo Picasso.
Oh, okay.
I think I've told you the story.
I think you have.
My client was her curator for 22 years, Mel Yoakum. And so Mel introduced me to her and educated me about her work and her processes each decade. And she was with Jonas Salk, who had the Salk Institute and created the polio vaccine. So, she had spent time here in Southern California. So that influenced her work. So as an artist, you understand some of the things that influence you. So maybe you focus on a whole movement of your work. So at the salon, I've got the oil paintings that I did when I had a bigger home and could oil paint because it needs air to dry. It doesn't dry overnight. Versus the later stuff during COVID is all gouache on paper, like what your daughter does.
Yes.
So it dries fast and you can do it in a small confined space and it's a lot easier process,
right,
or faster process. So anyways, you got those things happening at the salon with the different things. And I can look at a painting and say that was Gillot inspired because that line goes off the canvas and into infinity. And, it's like, it gives you a vocabulary for making art and stuff.
And you made textiles too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You made all these textiles. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah. Pillows and coasters and notebooks and all that stuff. It was a really fun project during COVID and stuff. So, but that's why it's funny going and being a part of the LBA and the neighborhood council. Now I'm working on civic design. So, and what really kind of was good for me on my birthday when I went to Spain, to Barcelona, and La Sagrada Familia, the big cathedral there, Gaudi was not a trained architect. He was just a designer. And so I thought, oh, you can be a designer and have a vision for an idea. And look, for 100 years, that community has worked to fulfill his vision. And he's given them commerce. He's given them a way to make a living and bring people to that city to watch the progression of La Sagrada Familia.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, it helped me know that I didn't have to have a big degree behind me to keep working on visions and creating beautiful things everywhere I go. Because at the core of it, I want to see things beautiful. Right? I want to make things more beautiful so that every day is just a little bit better, a little bit richer. So
a little more beautiful.
Yeah.
Which makes your city council work exactly in line with your values.
Yeah.
Your values are all about beauty.
Yeah.
And art.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, it's art what you do to hair.
Yeah.
And hair color. And because you're good at visual arts, it makes you good at hair color.
And understanding color theory because you're a painter.
Yes.
Every hair color should take color theory classes and stuff. I mean, you should actually get in there with the paints and mix it, match it, and watch how the secondary colors and primary colors all work together and stuff, because it's the foundation of hair color.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you got underlying red pigment, you want to balance it out. You need a little bit of blue or green in there to, make it a neutral color and stuff. So
interesting.
So it's part science and it's part art and it's part intuition.
Right.
Once you've done it for a while, it's like, I know her hair's going to cheat a certain color, so you throw a little something extra in there. You always write. I always write it down. Not everybody writes it down.
You do.
I want to have an exact record of what happened, because if you come back with a photograph from an event from 5 years ago, I can pull up your color formula and go, this is what we did, and we know how to get there.
This is what we did. Yeah. It's your coiffure card. As we say in the South, your coiffure card.
I should call it that.
That's what everybody calls it. Pull out her coiffure card and see what we did last time. Everybody, when I grew up, all the ladies, the old ladies go to the hair salon on Saturday because church is Sunday. So Saturday is packed, and every lady had their own coiffure card. What's her formula? So anybody could do their hair in the salon.
That's right. They probably had their roux rinses back in the day, which they don't even make anymore.
What's a roux rinse?
A roux rinse. Roux was a product. So after they would, sometimes if they wanted to cut the yellow or make it more like a frivolous fawn, like a fawn, like a deer, they had these water-based rinses that after you wash the hair, you put it in the hair, and then you'd comb it through the hair, and it stayed on the hair. Then you'd shampoo set it. You put the hair in the rollers. So they use, and a lot of gals, remember in the day, were like in the 50s and 60s, were bleached blonde. Mm-hmm. So that color might get kind of yellow over time. So the roux rinses would go into the hair, and then they stayed in until you washed it out the next time. They were like a total semi-permanent toner, if you will.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's
why are they gone?
People don't do shampoo sets anymore, and now we've got more developed products. Now you've got like a foam in hair color. You've got the shampoo bowl, like a Redken Shades EQ or something, where you can actually mix it up in a bottle. It's going to be longer lasting. These were just for one shampoo. And of course, you could change it up each time you had your shampoo set done every Saturday.
Right.
But yeah.
Need a break from the crowded stores and endless gift lists? Restore your zen and embrace the natural power of hemp this holiday season with Via. Whether you're enjoying a quiet evening at home or embracing the festive cheer, Via's premium THC and THC-free gummies will help you find your perfect holiday balance. They also have 0 THC products. If THC isn't for you, you can still take advantage of their CBD line with products designed for sleep, focus, and energy that will keep you glowing all year long. Personally, THC and I don't get along, but CBD and I have a great time. I have lots of aches and pains, and a little gummy just puts everything at ease. This holiday season, gift yourself some peace of mind. If you're 21 and over, check out the link to Via in our description. For a limited time during the holidays, Via is offering 25% off site-wide plus up to 50% off select items and bundle. And if you're hearing this ad post-sale, you can still save by using code WIFE for 25% off. After you purchase, they ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. This holiday season, enhance your everyday with Via. I don't know, has it gotten easier or harder to be beautiful? What do you think? Easier or harder?
There's a lot more products available. There's a lot more looks available. You don't have to have just the standard part, middle hair feathered. So I think it's gotten easier to find beauty that works for you. I really do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and of course, we've all got the filters on our phone. We can try on different looks with our phone with the different apps. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of narrow it down. So that helps too. But I think there's a lot of talent in LA, and I think there's a lot of talented people online because they get to watch tutorials online. They're hairdressers, so you've got more talent in small towns too.
But I remember my grandmothers only go into the hair. They would go once a week.
Yes.
Almost like you go get your nails done now, like every Sunday or something, or every other Sunday. They would go once a week. So they wouldn't shampoo their hair.
No, that's why it was a shampoo set.
It was once a week.
You got it shampooed probably twice.
Yep.
And then they'd comb it out, put the rollers in, or put the pin curls in and put it under the dryer and dry it. And once it was done, then they called it a comb out. You can go midweek and have your hair recombed and restyled. Oh, but that's why that hair was so big and so thick. At the end of the week, it didn't move.
It did not move. No, and I think it's part of the reason both my grandmothers had a very short haircut.
Oh,
so
interesting.
They both had very short haircuts. Now they had they would do the curl and set, but it was a short haircut.
Got it.
So I wonder if they could just kind of zhuzh it a little bit and get by.
Maybe. And also, in early 1970s, Sassoon hit the scene. So that's when they started cutting women's hair off and getting them freed from the roller sets.
Oh.
So it became about the technical haircut. and they could still. That's when blow drying came in also. So it all changed right around 1970 with Vidal Sassoon.
Well, 1970, my grandparents would have been 40.
Right?
Yeah, about 40.
But think about it when you look back at those pictures of them when they're 20 and 30 and 40 and how old they look.
They look old as dirt.
Yeah, and part of it's that old styling of the hair and stuff.
It's the hairstyle. Yeah. It's that shampoo set.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my gosh.
But that's like even with people like Marilyn Monroe, they were shampoo sets also. Her hair was naturally curly. So when you put it on the rollers, it was smoother and straighter. But then they could flip it this way, flip it that way. Once the body's in the hair from a shampoo set, it's different than if you take a curling iron to it. Okay. It's a different bond in the hair. And so once it's dried in from wet hair to dry hair, it's much firmer and much more resilient. Oh. So it's a different way of approaching the finish work on the hair and stuff. So
interesting,
right?
I could use a shampoo set sometimes because I don't do well with a brush.
You would hate it.
I can't do. You think so?
You would hate it.
Why?
Remember when I blow dry your hair with a little bit too much curl and a little bit too much mousse?
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
But, okay.
But more.
No, I wouldn't like that. Like that. No, I wouldn't like. I'd look like a helmet.
Kind of girl.
I am
around and moves.
I'm an all natural.
That's right.
Looking girl for sure.
Yeah.
I have this illusion that I think I can shortcut my like curling iron duties, right? Yes. But I can't. I don't think I can.
Well, yeah. With if you had one length hair and it just like fell into place every day, but with the layers, you got to direct the layers. They're not just going to go.
Yeah. I used to have one length hair that just fell into place, but then menopause came and just screwed my whole pooch.
Oh, right.
The whole thing.
But also part of looking modern and young is the movement.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know what I mean? Youth is a movement. It was something I was taught 30 years ago. So the more movement in the hair, and it's not like crazy, but it's like it should move and have various colors in it. It shouldn't be, unless you want something really hard and severe, and that's fine too. You know? Yeah. But, imagine the short, blunt bangs and the dark hair that you had when you were younger, because we used to do a bob with dark bangs, and that was but I think that would look really severe on you now.
Yeah, I think it would too.
Because sometimes your skin changes and you need to soften it up a little bit with the color.
Skin's definitely changed, and my hair's changed totally. My hair's totally different. Isla was at the kitchen counter yesterday, and her hair is so dark. Her natural hair is so dark. And Bert looked at her and goes, "Is that what your hair looked like?" And I went, "Yes. Go look at our wedding pictures.
Yep.
This is my hair. And what I have now is so light because what's under my color is all gray." Mm-hmm. And so he's like, "It's just amazing because I can't really remember you with her hair until I see her." Right? He can't see it on me.
Yeah.
But then he sees her. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, that's what she looks like."
Yeah, because you have the dark eyes, so you can wear the dark hair color and stuff. But there's also a lot of warmth in your skin, too, so the warm colors work. And when your hair is so dark like that, it's a little cooler. And so it can make you look more white and more pale. Gosh. You should go get a dark wig and freak out Bert.
And put it on? I should do that.
Like play LeeAnn for dress up like the 1980s version of LeeAnn or 1990s version.
I should come dressed as Isla.
Yes.
In all black with real black eye makeup and a dark wig.
That'd be hilarious.
That might be really fun. Maybe I'll do that. That might be fun. I don't know if Isla would like it.
She might be a little bit mad. She look like her twin.
She doesn't like being my twin that much. She likes it a little bit. I think she likes it better now that she's home.
Yeah.
I think she really missed me. Yeah. Her first quarter away. She's going to come podcast about what it was like.
Oh, good.
I think she really missed me. There was a lot of not letting me out of her sight. Good. She was sick when she got home, but there was a lot of like, "Where are you going? When are you coming back?" Yeah. Like, "I'm just going to the laundry room. And I'll be right back with the basket of laundry, which I will fold in front of you. I'm not leaving."
It's like, "Do you need an air tag?"
I know, right? Exactly.
You got the 360 on the phone or whatever, the app 360.
It's so true.
That's so silly.
It was kind of nice.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was saying this to Bert. I kind of got used to running my own schedule.
Yeah.
And, I love my kids, of course. Yeah. And of course, I'm so happy she's home, and she's only home for a few weeks.
Yeah.
But there was a little part of me that was like, dang.
You're a busy woman. You got a lot on your plate.
I got to check in with her all day, every day. And she's monitoring me. And "Where are you going? What are you doing? When will you be back?" That's cute, though. Another Bert.
Right?
I feel like the other day, they both needed something from me at the same time. Okay. And so I felt I felt like a ping pong ball. Uh-huh. Then they were like, "Look at this, look at this, look at this, mom, honey, honey." I was like, somebody just, let me just do one at a time. Right. You can pause, and then I'll deal with Dad, and then Dad can pause, and I can deal with you. But they can't do that. It's almost like as soon as Bert sees Isla needing something, he needs more.
Oh.
And then as soon as Isla sees Bert needs something, she needs more.
You got to raise the ante a little bit.
And more. And then I'm just in the middle going like, Stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Give me a minute. Let me breathe.
Oh, at least you're needed.
So where in the world have you not been yet that you want to go?
Sicily. And I also want to go to Basilicata Rotondella, which is where my great-grandmother was from, and also the island of Ischia. Since I talked to you about this last, I found out that the family name of Iacona, even though they came through Sicily, is from the island of Ischia, which is Ischia. I think I'm pronouncing it right, which is near Capri.
Okay.
It's near Naples. So I was like, it's actually the island above Capri, which is so bizarre to me that that's where this family name came from. So I want to go with my cousin and go check it out and see what it's all about.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So is that what you're planning on doing?
That's what I'm hoping to do next fall.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's awesome.
My pilgrimage trip. So
that's going to be great. And this is, how old's this cousin?
Anne-Marie's my age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That'd be so fun.
She came to my birthday party in Paris.
Oh, so fun.
She's a great woman.
And she's the cousin in San Clemente?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. That figured it out and said to your dad, hey, you got a son. Remember that cute redhead?
Yes. So I adore her. She's a really neat cousin.
That's so cool. Well, what else is going on, Romy? Is there anything else you're super excited about in life?
Let me see.
Rico's good?
Rico's good. He's hanging in there. You know, Hollywood's been a little quiet.
Yeah.
So he's been working on his projects and trying to get some stuff out there. I hear that reality is kind of going by the wayside, so it's more about scripted material. So he's actually working on some scripted ideas. We had an idea for a show based off of our life, a gay interracial couple with a son. So he's been developing that. He's got the pitch deck for that. He's got some stuff about mediums and stuff, which I think would be a lot of fun. He works with a medium, an English medium that's really amazing.
Nigel,
yes, of course.
Nigel.
Hello. Yes.
Yes, he just texted me and said he's back from London. He wants to have coffee.
Good.
I was like, awesome. I'm super busy till the second week of December. But after that, I'll go have some coffee with Nigel.
I should have coffee with him too. I know him and Rico chat more often than we do, but
what a lovely human he is.
So great. He's so talented.
Yeah, lovely person.
So the idea would be that they help other mediums grow into their self.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was a great idea.
Yeah.
So I can't talk about it too much, but yeah. So yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I hope I get to see him while he's in town too.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're just plugging along. We're having our first Christmas in our new apartment.
No way.
So we decorated last night, put the tree up.
You already did?
Yes.
You're one of those people. A pre-Thanksgiving tree putter-upper.
Right. Well, Thanksgiving's very late this year, so
likely story, Romy. Likely story.
Right. So and I haven't put up a tree in years. So now that we got the new apartment,
that's exciting.
And the high ceilings, the tree looks kind of small at 5.5 feet. So it's black. Did I say that I have a black Christmas tree?
No.
So one of my hairdressers had this at the salon many years ago. And I thought, oh, how awful, a black Christmas tree. And then when I saw it, it's so cool because it's like putting imagine hot pink or turquoise on black. The high contrast is really cool. And I've collected ornaments for my whole life. I would buy ornaments in series. So one year the family would get Egyptian ornaments, or they would get, whatever the Wizard of Oz ornaments. So I pulled them all out last night and made everybody help me put them on the tree. And so the tree looks really stunning. And
will you send me a picture?
Yes, I'll show you when we're done here.
Send me a picture so we can post it with this episode.
Oh, I'll definitely do that.
If you don't mind.
I would love that.
I would love to see a black Christmas tree.
It's pretty awesome. It really is. It's very sexy. And since I have a lot of black in the apartment with black lacquer and stuff, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's deco, but I did black and white striped ribbons on it also. It's really
fabulous, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet it's so fabulous.
Pretty cool.
I really want to see it.
And I actually put fake gifts under the tree. I save all the boxes from Waterford Crystal or Bernadette that I collect, so that if you ever sell it, you've got the box to put it in. But I put it all under the tree like we're having this exorbitant, extravagant Christmas. It's all fake, but it's just all for show.
But that's awesome. It's amazing. I bet it looks amazing.
It looks
please send me a picture so we can post it.
I will do that, definitely.
So if anybody wants to check out what you've been doing or anything about you, how would they do that?
That's a great question.
And wait, before we do that, we'll do that and then I'll ask you another question.
Okay.
How would they find you?
For the Larchmont stuff, it's larchmont.com. That is the LBA stuff that I've been spearheading. My site is romicortierdesign.com, which is the salon site. And I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. I have Twitter, but my Twitter is kind of weak.
Yeah.
Not Twitter. TikTok.
TikTok?
Yeah. So I just use it for editing videos and stuff. But Instagram's kind of the place where I'm at and posting stuff the most.
Gotcha. What is going on with this book that you have written?
I was working on it a lot for a while, and then I slowed down again. I had this gal that was helping me. So I've been rewriting chapters. And I really want to get it done, but all this neighborhood council stuff takes so much time.
Yeah.
But I really want to get it done. I've got such great images for it. and I don't know if I've told you some of the wacky stories, but it's kind of, the theory is 40 years of life lessons learned from behind the chair. So the takeaway is if I've like working with Sharon on the red carpet, it's like Sharon walks into a room with talking points. So it's like, I chart that in a story and the people I've met along the way, what I've learned, but also my own coming to terms with being gay and being an artist when I'm young. So it's kind of a chronological survey of my life and kind of ends with finding my dad.
Oh, how cool.
Like,
sort of a memoir in a different way.
Yes, exactly.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So, and I think there could be fun takeaways, but if I don't get it finished, all the talking points are irrelevant because young people don't know who these people are. You know what I mean? People our age know who they are. The points of reference. So,
wait, you struggled with being gay?
Yeah, I was not thrilled about it.
Oh no?
Yeah, no, I didn't come on.
Wait, why?
No. Because growing up in the Northwest, it's like, who wants to be gay? You know what I mean? It's like, you just want to blend in. And I'm in a military town. That's why I didn't go into the military, because I knew that I would die. I felt I would get killed going to boot camp and stuff. Because my dad was military and he was so mean and awful. I thought, I don't want to be, those people will kill me.
Right.
And so I went into beauty school, the scholarship. But I kept thinking it was a phase that would pass in my teen years. And then I saw that movie Making Love with what's her name? Harry Hamlin. And I saw that whole movie and him coming to terms with being gay. I'm like, oh my God. I was pissed. I was like, shit. Now, I didn't want to be gay. So, and I'm especially in a small town. So that's part of why I moved into the city also. The world has changed a lot, thank God.
Thank God.
But I never thought about getting married, but I always felt like I couldn't even like hold my person's hand that I had a crush on. You know what I mean? At the grocery store. That could mean getting beat up because there was all the beatings in the 80s and 90s, that sort of stuff. So,
and the AIDS pandemic, epidemic, pandemic, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Must have been terrifying. I mean, not only for the obvious reason that you could contract AIDS, but because of the stigma that the world had for someone who was gay.
That's right.
In that era.
I would see that in my neighborhood in Capitol Hill. I would watch guys die. Because you would see them with the lesions and getting thin and their hair fell out in a matter of 1 year because the AZT was really hard on these guys. So in some ways, I'm like, 40 years later to have like lived through all that and still be here is just like, what a gift life has been. You know what I mean? So it was just really, really interesting. You didn't want to be a part of that, but that's your community. And it's like, you've got to make peace with it in whatever way you can and try and find a way to survive and thrive and make the most of your life,
Yeah.
So, even my mother wasn't thrilled about me being gay. She was kind of like, well, I can handle it, but don't tell your relatives. They don't need to know because it might be a bad shining on mom, right? You know what I mean?
Right. How?
So,
the way we are now, we look back and go, well, that's just silly.
Yeah.
But that is the way people thought.
That's right.
Back in the 70s and 80s, late 60s, is that this was a choice.
That's right.
And it's so not. It's so silly. And now today you look back and go, how ridiculous.
I know.
You know? It's
Thank God
just
we lived
ridiculous.
through that era, and it's be you, do you, and hopefully nobody cares.
You're super lucky in some way because you get both. You get the juxtaposition of what your early life was to what it is now.
Yes,
and how kind of a non-issue it is.
Yeah,
it's really a non-issue.
Yeah, and yet it really defines you when you were young. I was of the era like if you wore a pink shirt or pierced your right ear, you were gay. I mean, like those little things were such a big deal. You know what I mean? So it's like you had to chart the waters very carefully to be kind of trendy and cool, but not be screaming queen. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I had those kinds of friends, but I was never that kind of a guy much. And Rico's not either. Like, most people were shocked to find out that he was gay. And a lot of people didn't know until we got engaged and it was on social media.
Oh, wow.
10 years ago. Or, well, I guess that was 7 years ago. So,
but that was only 7 years ago.
Yeah. But he was heavily involved in the church.
Yeah.
And didn't think it was okay for him to be gay, especially as a black man.
Yeah.
In a big city. So he's come to terms with it, and we're like kind of trailblazers in certain circles, which is great. We have a lot of admiration for people for being true to ourselves. So, yeah.
It's amazing how life works, isn't it? I was talking about this earlier today, how your 20s are about making mistakes, about dating the wrong person, about hating yourself, about judging yourself, about getting fired, making bad choices, screwing up, digging yourself out of a hole, being broke, living in a 4,000 square foot apartment.
Yeah.
and you take all you learn from that decade, if you're 20 in your 20s and you give yourself the permission in that decade to do all of that shit and learn from it, then your 30s, you get to kind of practice what you learned. And then your 40s, you get to kind of perfect it. And by the time you get to your 50s, you're like, bring it on.
I know, right?
Isn't it amazing?
Well, and it's funny because I think there's always unrealistic expectations that I had for myself. Well, 30, you should have it figured out. You should be a millionaire at 30. You should be, living your best life. And it's like, that's not the way it usually goes for people.
No, it's not.
You got to figure out who you are, which takes almost till 30 for some time.
Totally. So. I don't think we hit our stride as humans until we're, I would say, not joking, early 40s.
I would kind of agree.
Yeah. So if you just relax through your 20s, know that 30 is really perfecting what you learned in your 20s and just relax through it, not have any I had the same thing. I was like, we were, I don't even know how old we were. I was maybe 40, I think, when we bought our house. And I thought, what a loser. It took you till 40 to buy a house and a 1,800 square foot tiny, tiny house at that.
Yeah.
What a loser. And
we're so hard on ourselves.
Aren't we?
Yeah.
And really, the bigger part of me, the glass half full part that it wins every argument within myself was like, no, who cares when?
Yeah.
You bought a house. That's amazing.
And that's with like finding my dad.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 40
who cares
years.
when?
I did it.
Yes.
It's like you learn about your tenacity when it takes you that long to do something that means something to you.
That's right.
And that's a skill set that, nobody can take away from you. So,
and it tells you about your worth, right? Yeah. If you are hanging out for that long to answer that question and you keep asking it, you believe you deserve the answer.
I never thought about that, but you're right.
You do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You believe you deserve it. Yeah. So when you start giving up on something, I think you stop believing you deserve it.
That's
you
profound. I like that.
I've been thinking about that a lot lately because I empty nest. I just heard someone on Instagram say you spend about the same amount of time with your parents as you spend as a parent.
Oh, I never thought of that.
So if you're about 20 years with your parents, and you're about 20 years as a parent as your primary focus, it's only 40 years of your life.
That's true.
That's 50% of your life. So the other 50% of your life, what do you do with that?
Well, and I always wish I knew how old I was going to live to be, right?
Yes.
It's like, is 60 a halfway point? Because there's those people that make it 120.
I hope so.
Am I planning for like 30 years in retirement? It's like, it's hard to know.
But if you think about your life that way, if you hit 40 and you're at 50%, right? You got 50% more. And if only 50% of my life has been about my parents or my children, then what will I have done on my deathbed with the other 50%? I'm super proud of my childhood and I'm super proud of my parenting with my kids and my life with my kids. So what do you want the other 50% to represent? If I were to answer that question for you, it would be about art, discovery, creativity, and learning. What an amazing...
Yeah, I would say for me, it's like legacy, right? And sharing the art, leaving something behind. I've often even thought about with this whole Italian citizenship overseas stuff. It's like, could I retire to Italy and go work somewhere where I get to help restore a beautiful fresco that will live on for hundreds of years, and bring it back to life? I thought that would be a great service or way to give back. My husband may not like that. Maybe he'd love it. I don't know.
To be determined.
But I just think, what a great way to like wrap up my life, to go like do like one final big art project and just know that it will live beyond me. And it's there to make it better for everybody else when you're gone, And that's kind of how the Legacy Bench program feels too.
Yeah.
Leaving something behind. And my paintings are like my kids sort of too. Know that you make them, you put them out in the world and hopefully somebody smiles when they see it in their home.
Yes.
So.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah. I love it. Well, thank you for coming, Romi.
Thank you for having me.
I love you.
I love you. You're amazing.
I mean, so are you.
And you've done such great things with your life. And it's really, it inspires me, and watching Bert on his journey of getting his health together and stuff is like, keeps me out there walking at night and trying to get myself in shape to, be strong. And
that's what friends are for, right?
Yeah.
Friends are supposed to inspire each other.
That's true.
They are. You're supposed to be in awe of each other's lives, not in competition.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Yeah, in awe.
Yes.
I'm in awe of your life. I really am.
Thank you.
You're happily married. You have a thriving business. You have so many wonderful hobbies that fulfill you.
Yeah.
It's inspiring.
Thank you.
It is inspiring. It doesn't matter how much money you make or what street you live on.
Yeah.
Those key pieces, when you can look and say, this person gives back to their community, gives to their small community, gives to their family, enriches my life. Yeah. Just in our conversations, I know Romy came over early today to cut my hair, and I was like, I can't talk to you. And it's so weird to not talk to you.
I know. It's like,
and then we were talking about, the weather.
I know, right?
So what do you think about this shoe? I don't know. Right? It's just so many, we tend to have pretty deep conversations.
I know we do.
So we just had to sit in the other room for 2 hours and not talk.
I know. I'm like working on my other projects and just like letting your hair process computer. And checking on it. And
we rearranged the room.
We did.
That's how bad
it looks amazing.
It is, right?
We're awesome.
We did such a great
We need
job.
to have our own little side business.
But my hair is processed. I got color in my hair. Yeah. Hair's all over the floor. And I'm like, what if we move this couch over here? And then we put the rug here and we do this here and we make this here. And then you finished it up.
I don't think we can sit still, can we?
No, I cannot.
Neither of us.
Cannot sit still.
That's we're the same person that way.
And that's how, when I'm avoiding something, I definitely get moving. So I was just trying not to talk to you.
Oh, I know.
So I had to keep moving. So yeah, that's my classic avoidance tactic is to just get moving.
I feel you there.
Well, thank you for the day.
Thank you. I know it was a whole day here. I love it.
It was.
I appreciate you, and I'm glad to be a part of this whole thing. And thanks for sharing my story. And always, you have a great perspective. My aunt loves your perspective when she hears your show. She's like, she's a smart lady. I know.
Oh, well, tell her thank you.
I will.
I love that.
Thank you very much. So,
well, till next time, because you'll be back.
Yes, ma'am. I look forward to it.
Okay.
Have a great holiday.
Okay, bye.